my name is Annie Puffett. I'm the Director of Career Development here at Upper Iowa University, and I am pleased to be doing another edition of our Alumni Speaker Series. This evening, we are joined by Jackie Cooper, who is a 2015 alum from our Fayette campus. She was a graphic design major and a marketing and management minors while she was here. She was raised in rural Fayette, just outside of Fayette, and now residing in Lansing, Iowa with her husband and children. Her husband also happens to be an alum from Upper Iowa, and I know she'll talk a little bit about that as well. But welcome, Jackie, to our Alumni Speaker Series this evening. Happy to have you join us and talk a little bit about what your experience was like at Upper Iowa and how that has helped progress into your the career that you've had and where you're going. So welcome and happy to have you with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Jackie, we're just going to go ahead and kick things off. I know there's several things you want to talk about tonight, but first, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I was born and raised in rural Fayette, Iowa, and by my parents, Darby and Linda Jellings. I graduated from North Fayette in 2011, and I grew up spending a lot of my summers in Lansing on the river, a place that always felt like a second home. Now I am proud to be raising my own family in Lansing with my husband, where we together run Cooper Seed Solutions, and I enjoy being a part of this community. We, like I said, absolutely love being a part of this community, not only for the amazing people, but also for the natural beauty and the endless outdoor opportunities it offers, from bow hunting, shotgun hunting, and turkey hunting in the driftless hills to fishing and boating on the Mississippi River. We truly live in an incredible location that's rich with resources and adventure. Professionally, I serve as executive director of Main Street Lansing, where I focus on economic growth, community engagement, and thoughtful design while preserving our historic downtown district. Alongside this role, I'm a licensed Iowa realtor, a certified sister circle coach. It basically encompasses a women in business networking group and certified in the Volunteer Centers of Iowa Volunteer Engagement Training Program as well. I also serve on two boards that align with my passion for community and economic development. I am a board member of Inspire Her Driftless. That is a nonprofit that promotes and uplifts women in our community, empowering them to reach their full potential. Additionally, I serve on the Alameda County Economic Development Board, where we work to bring economic vitality not only to Lansing, but to the entire county. My passion for community, creativity, and marketing and impact has shaped both my personal and professional journey, and I'm grateful to be making a difference right here in my hometown.
Wow, that's a lot. You've got a lot going on right now.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So can you give us some background on what brought you to Upper Iowa? I know that you're originally from Fayette, but you didn't initially start in Fayette at Upper Iowa. So can you talk a little bit about what brought you back here?
Yeah, of course. So after graduating high school from North Fayette and being born and raised in Fayette, I felt like I needed to get out and experience something different from what I was used to. I started my college journey at Hawkeye Community College, where I spent about a year and a half taking graphic design courses along with my general ed classes. While I was at Hawkeye, my sister, who was a year older than me, she transferred to Upper Iowa University, and she really enjoyed everything about UIU. And we had close family and friends who worked at the school, which made me curious about transferring myself. I found that I was missing that sense of community and that small town feel that I grew up with. And I knew UIU would be the right move for me. So during this time, I also met my husband, Jalen Cooper, who he started at NICC and was thinking about transferring to UIU as well. And it just felt like all the stars were aligning to point me towards the decision of choosing UIU. So my family was close. I already had a support from UIU staff. Shout out to Billy Cowley and Matt Cowley for their support. My friends were going to be there, and I could continue pursuing my passion for being creative through a graphic design program.
Awesome. Um, while you were at UIU, you were active and participated in several opportunities on campus. Can you talk about some of the things that you were involved in and how those experiences have impacted you while you were here?
Yeah, well, Upper Iowa, I made it a priority to get involved and take advantage of all the opportunities on campus. One of the most impactful experiences was joining the sorority Gamma Delta Phi. It was a great way to meet some incredible women and connect with people I might not have had the chance to interact with otherwise, especially since I was involved in sports. But the sorority, not only we participated in group activities and community events like helping out for the dessert event or creating a float for the homecoming parade. So it was a wonderful way to put myself out there, build connections, and give back to the community. I also took advantage of the work study opportunities, which were invaluable given the limited job opportunities outside of campus in Fayette, in rural Fayette. I worked at the library where not only did I earn an income, but I also found a space to focus on my studies while on the job. So that was a plus. Married the librarian, knew my family, which made me feel right at home from the start. And I also spent one summer working at the alumni office, helping with administrative tasks and designing event posters, which gave me a taste of combining creativity with the practical work office. Beyond my work involvement, I made the most of the amenities UIU had to offer, like the fitness center and the pool. There is a pool on campus. There is always
You
something to
can't
do.
use it anymore, but
You can't?
there's
Oh
one on campus, but non-functioning right now.
no. Okay, well, so then you know you're alum if you know there was a pool that you could use. But anyhow, so those experiences helped shape my sense of community involvement and built connections that still mean a lot to me today.
Awesome. So we've talked a lot about your experiences before Upper Iowa and at Upper Iowa. So now I kind of want to shift gears to career paths. One's career can take us down many paths where we sometimes have to pivot and embrace new challenges. And I know you've had a little bit of that. COVID kind of thrown in there, contributed to that a little bit. Can you talk about those experiences and how you quickly had to embrace those challenges and kind of pivot within your career?
Yeah, so absolutely. Growing up, I was surrounded by people who stayed in their chosen field for work 20, 30, 40 years. And I thought the social norm I experienced was that you had to find a job and stick with it. For a long time, I found myself wondering when was I going to find that role I'd be in for 30 years? And I've come to the realization that that's just not for me. And that is okay. I've learned that my career ebbs and flows with the different chapters of my life. I've been administrative assistant, a program and marketing manager, a community relations manager, and now an executive director. I've worked full time, putting in the 40 hours, gaining the experience and aiming for better pay as I move from role to role, while all building our dream home, starting a family, and figuring out how to balance it all. It took me a while to accept that it's okay if I'm not full time. It's okay to slow my career down, to be present with my three children before the fleeting time passes in a blink of an eye. Everyone says it goes so fast. In COVID, that was a fun experience of COVID. I got let go because they weren't doing trade shows anymore. So that was a fun experience. Um, But it's okay to not know what your dream job is, and it's okay to not stay at the same job your whole entire life. That's kind of the biggest thing that I want to teach my kids is, embrace to be different and that it's okay that each role can be a transition. But within those roles, I have built my skills, grown my network, and prepared for me to be where I am today. And now I consider to be in my most fulfilling role yet, serving as executive director for an amazing cause. I get to make a difference in my community. I get to get involved with my kids and giving back alongside me in this role. I am able to be present for my family's busy schedule, and I am proud to say I am making an impact right here in my hometown. And right now, in this chapter of life, being part-time is okay. There might be a time where I dive back more into demanding role, but for right now, my career is ebbing and flowing, and I'm here to enjoy the ride. My message to others, if anyone can take anything away from today, is you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to pick that dream job while you're in school, after school. But the best way is just to move forward and set yourself up for success by continually learning, putting yourself outside of your comfort zone, and being open to change. It's okay to pivot and it's okay to embrace the new challenges. Life and careers are always a straight line, and that's okay.
You didn't set out, talking about career ebbs and flows and kind of where things go and how they start and stop. You didn't originally set out to work in the nonprofit world. Can you talk about some of the roles that you've had and how each of those roles have kind of aligned with the ebbs and flows and the different stages in your career?
No, I did not originally set out to work in the nonprofit world. But looking back, if I could do a school all over again, I would add nonprofit management to my degree plan because of where my career has led. That being said, I also feel that what I did accomplish at Upper Iowa University set me up for success. The top degree for nonprofit management are management, marketing, public relations, finance, accounting. Those are essentially the same areas I focused on during my time at Upper Iowa. Every career move I have made has landed me in the nonprofit sector, sometimes without me even realizing that that's what I was signing up for. Early in my career, I didn't intentionally seek it out, but the last 5 years of my career, I've deliberately chosen them because I know my work is bigger than myself, and it's about making an impact on something larger than me. Whether it's been helping preserve something that's near and dear to my upbringing, like ensuring agricultural programs and 4-H remained active in the community through organizing events, fundraisers, and programs, or bringing awareness to individuals with disabilities and making sure that they live their best lives, someone to speak and voice for them and advocate for them, as each role has fueled my passion for service. Now, as executive director of Main Street Lansing, I get to make an impact right here in my hometown. My focus is on uplifting local businesses, attracting visitors to support economic growth, and creating community events like giving families a reason to stay and newcomers reasons to move here. I love my work because it shapes the atmosphere and the vibe I want my kids to experience and be proud of. I am passionate about creating a community that fosters pride, engagement, and a sense of belonging. And I want to lead by example, showing my kids that volunteering and giving back truly matters.
You've always had a passion for creativity, growth, and continuous learning, and I don't see that changing anytime soon with the passion that you have displayed in all of your different roles. Can you talk about how you've been able to find that in the different roles that you've been in and how that continues to be a large framework of your career? So that kind of ties in your degree to Upper Iowa pretty strongly.
Yeah. So growing up, I was very active in art, painting, gymnastics, cheerleading, dance, and being social, if you can imagine that. I've always loved expressing my creativity through various forms of art and design, and that kind of transferred over to whether it's fashion, real estate, painting, or my work through marketing. No matter the channel, I'm always striving to make a positive impact with those things that I've built with that. I do not do it well with sitting idle, so I'm continuously looking for the next opportunity to grow within myself, whether it's earning licenses, getting certifications, or building on my next skill set. I want to have those tools and resources to use within my career, and that drive for growth and continuous learning has always been the framework in every role I've taken on. Whether it's leading community engagement efforts, creating marketing strategies, or getting more people involved to volunteer and be engaged, I'm always finding ways to expand those abilities to make an impact.
Awesome. Thank you. And I knew you a little bit when you were growing up, and it does not surprise me that you continue to use those creativity skills as you're continuing on throughout your career. Um, it's important to set some goals for where we see ourselves headed. What do you think are some of the key points that you can share with our audience tonight and those even watching the recording back later about how to achieve those goals and continue to grow personally and professionally?
When it comes to setting goals, I like to think of it in a combination of a vision and flexibility. It's important to have a clear idea of where you want to be in 5, 10 years, but it's equally important to understand that life might not take you in unexpected directions. So set those big goals, but also be willing to pivot and adjust as needed. Start by breaking down your goals down to achievable benchmarks so you can celebrate the small wins along the way. One of the biggest key achievements for your goals is investing in yourself, whether it's earning an extra minor, getting certifications, or pursuing professional development opportunities. Those things might seem tedious or time consuming, but they are absolutely worth it in the long run. The return on investment in yourself and the investment ultimately it helps you reach your goals.
Making connections and building relationships is so important. And I know you've been able to do that in all of the different roles that you've been in, whether that's been with your clients or whether that's been with your coworkers. Why is it's important for us in helping to advance in any of our fields, but what would you say is your biggest piece of advice to building those relationships?
My biggest piece of advice when it comes to building relationships is to start connecting now. Don't wait until you feel like you need to connect. Be proactive, get involved in your community, whether that means joining local groups, volunteering, or serving on a board. You never know how your skills might contribute to a bigger picture or lead to future opportunities. Even if you already have a full-time job, giving back to your community is invaluable. Not only does it help you build connections and grow your network, but it also allows you to develop new skills and make a meaningful impact. I've gained references, skills, long-lasting connections just by being a part of local organizations. It's the best way to both grow professionally and personally, and I highly recommend taking these steps to get involved. Now that I've made these connections and built my skills, it's allowed me to take those leadership roles onto two boards, the Inspire Her Driftless and the Alameda County Economic Development Board. Additionally, as he'd equipped me for setting up my board currently for Main Street Lansing for success, leveraging those connections and those skills to move forward our community forward. Building those relationships early on has truly been a foundation for the opportunities and leadership roles I have today.
Awesome. Speaking of kind of those leadership opportunities and getting involved in your career, career readiness is a pretty important topic in career services within higher education and within employers across the country. And so it's something that I focus heavily on kind of when working with students and when working with alums, what are some of those transferable skills and some of those pieces that they can take with them while they're in school and beyond after they have graduated. What areas or competencies or transferable skills do you feel are the most important in helping excel in one's career and why?
Adaptability and flexibility, that ability to pivot when things don't go as planned is essential. Careers don't always flow in a straight path, like we mentioned earlier. So, being able to adjust your goals and strategies when circumstances change will set you apart. Communication skills, I feel like that's always on a resume. Good communication skills, whether it's written, verbal, or digital communication nowadays, being able to clearly express ideas, build relationships is fundamental. Networking and relationship building, building the connections is key to career development and advancement. Getting involved in your community, joining professional organizations, and seeking out mentors. You never know how those relationships can open doors and support your growth. Another one I'd say is continuous learning. Never stop investing in yourself, whether it's earning certifications, gaining new skills, or staying up to date with industry trends. Lifelong learning helps keep you relevant and prepared for new challenges. And I would just say resilience and grit. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable. They're going to happen. But having the determination to push through and keep striving towards your goals is what sets successfully individuals apart.
Kind of talked a lot about some of the things that are considered part of the career readiness competencies that we focus on here from NACE, the National Association of Colleges and Employers, and communication is one of them. Being able to pivot and transition to the different forms of communication that employers are looking for. So that's always important. How would you encourage others to be able to help improve those skills and competencies if they might be lacking in certain areas that you've mentioned?
Get involved in your community, whether it's volunteering, joining a board, or being a part of a community project. Getting involved helps you build real world skills while making a positive impact. Plus, it puts you in touch with people who can teach you new things and expand your network. Embracing lifelong learning, never stop investing in yourself, like I mentioned before, taking workshops, earn those certifications, attend a webinar, or pursue additional education when you can. Or look back at where you went to school and see what they have that they're newly offering, whether it's, getting your master's or adding that certification from your previous school that you went to. Push yourself outside your comfort zone. It's easy to stay where you're comfortable, but true growth happens when you take yourself outside your comfort zone and take on those challenges. Say yes to the opportunities that scare you a little, whether it's public speaking, taking on leadership roles, or managing a new project. And then building meaningful relationships. Networking isn't just about collecting contacts, it's about building genuine relationships. Engaging with people who inspire you, collaborate with others, and share your skills with your community. By taking these steps, you're actively working to improve your skills and while positioning yourself to take advantage of new opportunities. Growth is a continuous journey. So keep challenging yourself, stay curious, and never stop learning.
All right. Are there any final pieces of advice that you would have that you would want to give to UIU students or alums or the members from the university community that might be watching tonight or watching one of the playbacks on our page or on the speaker series page? Any final pieces of advice before we wrap things up tonight?
Absolutely. My final piece of advice is to stay open to change and embrace the journey. Even when it doesn't go as planned, life and careers don't always flow in a straight path, and that is okay. Be willing to pivot, take on new challenges, and continually invest in yourself through learning and building connections. UIU has given you a strong foundation. Now go out there and build on it. Be bold, be resilient, and always remember that it's okay to be different and take different paths to find your purpose. Keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, make an impact wherever you go.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. I think those were great tips to start to close our time here tonight. I do want to draw attention to, I don't know if any of you have noticed, if you're following the UIU Facebook pages or following the Upper Iowa website, that today and tomorrow are our annual giving days here at Upper Iowa, and today also happens to be National Peacock Day. So if you haven't been following along on the Upper Iowa website, I encourage you to go to uiu.edu/giving days today and tomorrow and make a donation to whatever program or area speaks to your heart and the areas that you are passionate about. So far today, we have hit over 92,000 of our goal of 135,000. And so
Wow.
shout out to the Peacock community that are supporting our giving days today. And so if you are so inclined to make a gift, giving days go all the way through tomorrow. And so we encourage all of our Peacock family near and far to keep checking that out and make a donation if you are so inclined to do so, and keep checking back on our social media pages for kind of all of the hype leading up to kind of where our ending total is, and taking advantage of all the wonderful opportunities that Upper Iowa has to offer at all of our different areas across the nation. So before we close tonight, I just want to thank you again, Jackie, for joining me for another edition of the Speaker Series. Look forward to following your career at Main Street Lansing and the wonderful things that you are doing up there in the Driftless area. And thank you again for joining us. And I hope the rest of you all have a wonderful day. Have a great night.